Hi, welcome back to the Review Zoo. I'm Tim Dowd. I'm here today with Keith Marran and Kevin Gilligan. I want to say hi, folks.
Hi.
Hello. All right. And you guys are board members of the organization Geek Out. Now, for the people who don't know, can you tell us a little about Geek Out?
Sure. Geeks Out was an organization to promote, rally, and empower the queer geek community. We kind of started because of New York Comic-Con a few years ago. There was a queer panel, went really well, but everyone left thinking, well, now what do we do? Because when you're in a geek community, you don't always feel comfortable being gay. And when you're in a gay community, you don't always feel comfortable being geeky. So we're an organization that's sort of the nexus of those two communities.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. You mentioned you don't always feel comfortable being out or being gay in the geek community. Do you think there's anything about the geek community in particular that contributes to any kind of discomfort? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, we've been seeing a lot more over the past couple of years of, there was something at San Diego Comic-Con that was very anti-women at one point. There was a nice panel, and some of the crowd members really got vocally misogynist. And so I think that there's a very strong contingency in the geek community that is sort of, I don't know, like a very old school boys club, and not really welcoming of minorities or outsiders. And so we're here to say it's actually more fun to be queer and geeky at the same time, and it makes for better stories and better comic books and better video games and everything. So.
It's kind of sad the way you describe that, because I mean, geek culture, almost by definition, comes from a place of ostracization to a certain degree. You know, being a social outcast because you're really into Tetris or something. You know, you have a reason. Now, but you guys say you're combating that. How did you feel? What does your organization do to help fight that?
Well, we provide an area for people to congregate, to have social activities. Each month we do social activities. This Saturday we're having a Comic-Con party where everyone who, if you're LGBT or even an ally of the LGBT community, you're welcome to come have drinks and talk geeky. So, and we have various other things. We have drink and draw, we have trivia nights, we had an art auction that was art celebrating queer geek icons. Last year it was Sigourney Weaver, the year before that it was George Takei. And it's a place for people to sort of congregate and be okay being who they are.
Now, I noticed you also have a very interesting event coming on called Skip Ender's Game. Can you guys speak a little bit about that?
Yes, Ender's Game is a movie coming out in the fall. It's based on a book by Orson Scott Card, who is a huge homophobe and is not quiet about it. He's very vocal. He's written a lot of papers. He's not shy about saying that he will spend his money to legislate against gay and lesbian rights. So we want everyone to know who he is, that when you pay for your ticket to see Ender's Game, part of that money is going to Orson Scott Card to help legislate against your rights. So our main goal is that people know about him, and hopefully they make the decision to not pay to see the movie, but the choice is theirs. And we are having events across the country on November 1st, which is the opening night of Ender's Game, as an alternative for things for people to do, so that they can hang out with like-minded people. We're having a movie screening here in New York that people can attend. That's something a lot more positive and fun. Any proceeds that we raise go to local gay and lesbian charities.
Our event in New York is going to the Tyler Clementi Foundation. We have events in Chicago, San Francisco, Austin, Orlando, DC, and people are hosting their own events. And they can find out where there's one near them by going to skipendersgame.com.
For those who may have either forgotten or are unaware of who Tyler Clementi is, could you want to remind some people?
Tyler Clementi was a college student at Rutgers University who committed suicide after being confronted and being outed by his roommate in college. And so his brother and his family have started a foundation that aims to prevent and end bullying in schools and all over, and allowing people to be comfortable with who they are and not feel ostracized.
This was the spying with the webcam incident. Yes, man, talked about. Yes, if you would like to, at this point, I'm going to take a moment and make my editor find the most disgusting Orson Scott Card quote. He's going to superimpose on the screen right now. We're just going to take a moment and watch that. Douchebag, right? Okay. All right. Now, we have a couple of other things. Now, you guys have a panel here at Comic-Con, and if people are watching this, odds are they weren't lucky enough. They couldn't get a ticket. They couldn't make it out to New York. So can you give those people like the bullet points of what you feel you would like to talk about for anyone who missed?
The main focus of the panel is talking about queer characters in comic books. At the point that you see this, you should probably be able to go to our website and see a little video that we put together where we ask people to submit short videos of who's your favorite queer superhero and what makes them awesome. So the panel tonight includes Marjorie Liu, who writes the X-Men, Daniel Ketchum, editor of Marvel for all the X-Men books, Dan Parent, who...
Kevin Keller in Archie Comics.
And there's two more panelists whose name escapes me right now. But the main focus is to talk about queer characters. What's the current state of queer characters, and what should we be seeing more of in the future?
Now, recently there was an incident. Some of the details are a little sketchy about it, but the writer and artist. I'm sorry, I was going to say writer and director. The writer and artist of Batwoman. Leaving the book over DC's choice not to allow the character to be married. DC has gone back and forth as to whether or not that was truly an anti-gay marriage statement or just an anti-marriage statement, similar to Marvel unmarrying Peter Parker and DC unmarrying Clark Kent. And so, man, do you have any comments you'd like to make on that?
Well, unfortunately, DC has sort of put their foot in their mouth about a lot of things. Orson Scott Card is still scheduled to be a writer for their online anthology about Superman. He hasn't said that he's not a writer. He said that they still intend on releasing it despite Orson Scott Card's politics and his personal views and where he sends his money. It's unfortunate, and I would think that they would take cues from their writers and from their audience instead of an arbitrary rule that they set up for their new universe. But maybe they'll surprise us. I would like to be surprised. You never know.
I think in particular, this one is kind of a sad decision because the way I heard it was that they didn't want to age Batwoman, and having a character married ages them. And I personally like to see more mature gay and lesbian characters. We're seeing a lot of coming out stories, which is great, but we aren't seeing very many mature gay and lesbian characters in comic books. And I know when I came out, it was a big deal to look to people that were successful and established and mature and think, well, if they did it, then I can do it. And that's one of the great things about Batwoman as a character is that she is that, like, well, if she can do this, anyone can. So it would be nice to see her go in that territory.
Yeah, it's an argument I understand, like, well, I don't ever agree with it. I've understood the argument with Peter Parker to a degree. I understood it under Clark Kent. My always fault, it always ends like, it's Batwoman. Are we really that scared about aging Batwoman of all characters? Like, I don't know. It never really worked to me. Now, for anyone at home, how could they possibly get involved in your organization, reach out to your organization?
You can sign up at geeksout.org. We send out monthly newsletters about goings-on, and we try to publish a lot of fun and interesting content to the website. You can also find us on Facebook. It's facebook.com/Geeks Out. And we have a Twitter feed, Geeks Out.
And also, you can email us info@geeksout.org to be added to our mailing list, or if you have any questions that you'd like to direct to us.
Great. Thank you very much for your time. This is Keith Marran and Kevin Gilligan. I'm Tim Dowd, and we are here with Geeks Out.